Hello, I am Xarkun and this is World of Warships Legends. Now I was planning on streaming today, but I forgot. My new work schedule goes into effect, and I actually start working on Sundays. My work week is now Sunday through Thursday, which means I'm able to stream Fridays again. And that means this upcoming Friday, May 27th, that's the day I'm going to stream this week, so look forward to me then. Now, I had planned to post some videos this weekend too, or perhaps stream earlier, but I've been a little busy. My significant other and I have been looking for a house for the past several months, and we finally put in an offer for a house that got accepted. So we had to gather up some stuff to continue on with the process of going through this offer, and it's a really long process, very exciting, also kind of nerve-wracking because I'm about to be somewhat broke for the foreseeable future after getting this house. But I did want to show you this game that you see before you. It's the other game that I played in the Belfast 43 that I thought could be useful for a review, but I ended up not going with it because I think the gameplay is actually kind of fascinating, and I want to walk you through what I do and draw some conclusions off of it. The first thing we do, obviously, is take down the enemy Kagero. We get the finishing blow on him, and there's the first destroyer dispensed with on the enemy team. So that's a good start. We've got our own destroyer in the Charlie cap. He's now flipping it uncontested, and he should be able to acquire that cap quite soon. I feel now like my work here is basically done at this cap. I can't very well push into a North Carolina. There's a Fiji inside of the smoke screen to the north of that Charlie cap that I would like to be able to take out in order to help my destroyer out, but it does look like he's going to be able to take that Charlie cap no problem. Meanwhile, the Bravo cap has just turned red, indicating the presence of the second enemy destroyer, so I'm making it my mission to hunt this guy down if possible and take him out. I get spotted, most likely by that destroyer, and the North Carolina is coming around this corner. He should have shots on me, so I'm going to pause to smoke up with one of the Belfast 43's British smokes, and put a couple shells into that North Carolina, who looks like he's quite worse for the wear. We switch to AP there, but the North Carolina turns out the reload time, it's too slow on these Belfast 43 guns, even with the reload mod, and it does take quite a while to switch to the armor piercing. But there's the Summers. That's our primary target. That's the one who we wanted to shoot. We still can't. North Carolina's almost dead. Helena is reversing in a pretty stationary position, so not all that difficult to hit. Summers shows himself, so we're going to point our guns back toward him, and maybe we'll be able to take him out, but he is going to get the friendly Flanders, which obviously isn't great. Our shells manage to completely miss the Summers, and he starts to smoke up. We do have radar, but he's out of the range. So what to do now? Well, we could try to pursue the Summers, but there are two enemy battleships over there, a King George and a Flanders. So we think maybe a better idea not to pursue that Flanders, or rather that Summers, and get caught out by the Flanders and the Brandenburg. So, at the last moment, we elect to turn away. The Bravo cap is empty of enemy presence, and it's red. So if we can flip that in our favor, then we'll have two cap circles to the enemy's one, because I think there's no doubt that Brandenburg and Summers together are going to be able to flip Alpha. So we'll reset the Brandenburg as we travel back toward Bravo, maybe get some shots on the Flanders as well. The good thing about our armor piercing, or rather our high explosive, is that I think it can probably penetrate the Flanders. I think it has improved penetration. Maybe not. Certainly we can get some pens into a superstructure. We haven't done a lot of damage though, only 10k. So we're going to have to raise that number a little bit. The ship count is actually even. It is 6 versus 6. So as of right now, we're looking to be in okay shape. We do get spotted as we shoot at the Helena, which is somewhat concerning. I think that means the Summers has a line of sight on us, and we want to break that line of sight. We certainly don't want to get shot by either the Brandenburg or the Flanders, and we do want to try to get around here to see if we can't get a broadside on this Helena and help our team take him out, because for whatever reason, he's still alive, despite the fact that there are 3 battleships to the south of his position that I would think could probably shoot at him. Helena's able to make it to safety around the island, turning broadside to us in the process, and we're taking some fire from Flanders, the Brandenburg secondaries. Not exactly ideal. Flanders looks like he might be sailing into our torpedo range, so we send out some speculative torpedoes, assuming he's going to turn in a little bit more, and of course he promptly proceeds to do the exact opposite of what I predicted and completely turn out, so those torpedoes are destined to miss. But we're sitting within the safety of our smoke screen, flipping the cap. Flanders can't see us, and we should be able to get it flipped before we become visible again. So we're going to be able to give our team the 2-cap advantage. We do get lucky with RNG there. We like 2 salvos on the Flander. In the span of 1 salvo, he instantly puts them out. So hopefully we can follow up and get another perma-fire going before this smoke screen runs out and before we have to disengage. But danger is about to pop up in the form of the Brandenburg 6 km away. Luckily his guns aren't aimed over here, so we can put the island between ourselves and him, but even more danger has popped up. The enemy mines was lurking around over there to the north of the Alpha Cap. Had no idea he was there. His last spotted position on the map was near that area, so perhaps if I'd been paying a little bit more attention and using a little bit more forethought, I could have predicted this, but I didn't, and the mines kind of caught me off guard there. Luckily, these smoke screens are British destroyer smoke screens, so they do reload quickly, and we're able to put one between ourselves and the mines, which is good because the mines out DPMs us so hard it's not even funny, and we have a distinct hit points disadvantage. Meanwhile, the rest of our friendly battleships, while they could be shooting at this mines who is broadside, maybe one of them is, I think they're busy shooting at the Flanders and the Brandenburg, and spoiler alert, between the 3 of them, they aren't going to come anywhere close to sinking either of those ships at all, and it's going to be glorious. In any case, the mines has chased us out of the Bravo Cap, but he himself does not appear to be poised to enter it, or actually he is inside of it, but he's getting constantly reset by some of our teammates here. I think the cruiser, actually, who has just gone down, which is not great. But he's going to be coming around this island using the torpedo indicator. We're going to send some torpedoes that way. He's got sonar going, and note the new update to the UI that has been changed. Now you can see the detected sonar icon when you're detected by sonar behind an island, distinguishable from the radar icon, which is quite nice and a good improvement. Gives you a much better idea of how you're actually being detected with the new icon there, so I do like that. In any case, the mines comes out from behind the corner in that island. You can see he is able to get some chip damage into our superstructure with his AP, so we do want to put a halt to that. We deploy another smoke screen, so now we only have 1 left, but we need to not take too much more fire from the mines. He could easily melt our remaining hit points quickly, and we need to finish him off. You can see it is quite the task to actually finish him off with this slow reload of the Belfast 43. The DPM is quite unimpressive, and the mines is so much better at dealing raw damage than we are. Be nice if we could get some help from our battleship teammates. One of them did take a chunk of the mines' hit points, but wasn't quite enough to finish him off, so we may have to do it ourselves. And we do, with a fire. So the mines is down. That's just the Brandenburg, the Flanders, and the Summers left. So my goal right now is, of course, to find the Summers as soon as humanly possible. The point situation, after all, is fairly close, and it wouldn't take much for the enemy to overtake us on points, particularly if the Summers gets into Bravo, which is where I suspect he is going to go. At least that's where I would go if I were him. And what I want to try to do is fulfill the primary role of the radar cruiser, which is obviously to counter destroyers. I was able to do that with my teammates' help quite successfully against the Kagero early on, and that did give us an early advantage. But now that all of my teammates have been dispensed with, aside from those 2 battleships, I'm the only ship left alive that's best suited to deal with this Summers. And luckily, he is right in this Bravo cap, and he is prevented from spotting me because I think he's behind the island directly in front of me. Now my Friesland, he's still alive, and I really, really wish he was not pushing straight into this Bravo cap. He's got like maybe 1 hit point left to his name, and it's only going to take 1 single shell from the Summers to send him to the bottom of the sea. Summers spots him, instantly sinks him. Friesland throws away his life for reasons I don't quite understand. I mean, if you're the last destroyer left alive on your team, and you know you're a one-shot kill, maybe don't try to seek out the enemy destroyer if you've got the radar cruiser pushing up to that destroyer's location. I know for sure the Summers is in my radar range now. He's still in that Bravo cap, still flipping it. I want to try to get around this right side of the island here to get vision on him, deploy my radar if necessary, and take him out, as the Brandenburg and the King George both push into my last remaining battleship. I wish I knew what that battleship was, but I don't. He is fighting both the King George and Brandenburg, though, which may not go well for him, because the King George is likely to spam HE in his direction, and he can't very well bow tank that and survive for too long. But the Brandenburg is on fairly low health, so if we can take out this Summers, we might be able to help focus down the Brandenburg. There's the Summers. He's close enough for us to spot with our very own eyes. He instantly deploys a smoke screen, but we instantly deploy a radar to counter that. And there is no escape for this Summers. He is caught out, and he is gone. So that's the last enemy destroyer dispensed with. We're still ahead on points, but we do need to be able to take this Bravo cap. Luckily, this smokescreen from the Summers is going to serve as a barrier between us and between the enemy battleships still left alive. They aren't going to be able to see us through the smokescreen, so we don't actually have to make use of our own smokescreen until now. Or until that dissipates or the battleships come around the Summers smokescreen and it's no longer blocking line of sight between us and them. We, of course, still benefit from the spotting of our battleship teammate, who is still attempting to bow tank and reverse this Brandenburg and King George. I wish he was kiting away rather than reversing. He might be able to maintain his survivability a little bit better if he were doing that. Now we are trying to reverse into this cap. Our detectability is 9.7 kilometers though, and the Brandenburg's about to come around the corner. He does, just as we get into the cap, and somebody gets a shot off at us. I think it's actually the King George, and it manages to nearly sink us. We only have 654 hit points left, and our smokescreen does not give us enough time to take this Bravo cap before it dissipates and before we're spotted by the Brandenburg again. So we are kind of forced to retreat. As soon as the smokescreen goes away, they see us again, and we are a one-shot kill, even for one of the Brandenburg secondaries, potentially, so we can't have that. The best thing we can do is try to help our battleship focus down this Brandenburg. We can see he's on fairly low health there, and getting HE spammed by the King George, well, that's going to take down his hit points very, very quickly. We should be able to finish off the Brandenburg, though, if possible. And the answer to that question is yes, our fire finishes him off, but unfortunately, this King George is going to finish off our last teammate. It was in Iowa. So that leaves a very, very healthy King George left alive on the enemy team. The enemy is ahead of us on points. I can turn around and flip this cap circle now. Perhaps I should have waited and stayed closer in retrospect so that maybe I could have reversed into the cap circle after the Brandenburg had been sunk, and then we would have stopped the accrual of the enemy points on the cap circle. I probably would have been able to flip it before the time ran out, and we might have won. But I think this just goes to show that the Belfast 43, as I said in my review of it, just doesn't have the firepower. It just does not have the firepower necessary to carry. If I were in any other Tier 7 cruiser with radar in the same sort of position, I would have been able to focus down the Brandenburg a lot faster. I would have been able to take him out very quickly indeed. Maybe I would have been able to get into this cap circle better, but as it stands, I did sink the Kagero, the Summers, and I did what I needed to do in terms of countering the enemy destroyers and contributing to a potential win. I even solo cap to cap myself. So, did what I could. This is ultimately a team game, though, and unfortunately my team just wasn't able to hold on. The enemy has a commanding points lead, and there's no way we can overtake them because the game is over. But we do finish top on the leaderboard with almost 100,000 damage done. I think it was actually quite a good game on our part, and I think it would have been a pretty impressive XP count had we won. But it just wasn't to be, because I don't think the Belfast has what it takes to bring it home and really carry a game, at least not in most circumstances. I'm sure I'll be proven wrong by one example here or there later in the future, but we'll see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will, of course, see you for a stream soon on Friday, and maybe we'll do a late-night stream sometime this week. Who knows? Thank you so much for watching. Give the video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And with that, goodbye for now.